Hey guys, I'm a little behind on my videos. I am still inventorying things, and instead of trying to film that, I thought I would do you a great service and not film the inventory, because it is just a tedious, arduous, long-term task of going through all of those bags and making sure we have the right number of parts or the right type of part. As an example of that, here you see where the circle, it says I should have one type of rivet, but you can see in the bag I have a different type of rivet. Little things like that. Or here in this picture you can see that again the circle there, I'm missing two little nuts. Things like that. It takes a long time. There's just a buttload of stuff you have to go through, and filming that would bore you to tears. Okay, so I finished my inventory. There was only one thing wrong, and I had detailed that earlier, that bag with the wrong rivets. It had 470 rivets instead of what the listing had said it should have. And I don't know if the bag was wrong or if the listing was wrong. We'll see. And then the two little nuts were missing. Other than that, everything is here. Everything's in good condition, and I'm super happy. I can't wait. But I had to stow it all back there, find little cubby holes and places to put it while I work on the rest of the wings. And I had said that I was going to work on the flaps, and I decided, no, I'm actually going to wait on those. I'm going to go back a couple pages, and I'm going to work on closing the wings. The reason I stopped before is because I wanted to run more of this stuff. So I've got this flexible tubing here. It's called Sharkbite. You can get it at Home Depot. It's real cheap. And I'm running my wires through this instead of just through those black grommets that they give you, just because I didn't want the wires to flop around. I wanted to have them sealed inside their own protective case. And so you can see here I've got one that runs the entire length of the wing, and it will go out there to the wing tip where I'm going to put my wing tips. I am contemplating getting zip tips or some other type of wingtip than what I've got from Vans. I don't know yet. We'll see. That is an extra cost. It is not cheap, but they look so cool. We'll see. I have to get wife approval on those. And then I'm going to run, so I've started putting in the heated pitot tube / angle of attack indicator. I've already got it. This is where I'm going to mount it, and I need to work on getting that installed today. Up until now, you can see I had here where the wing skins were just kind of hung on there, still with the bluing on and everything. Well, hopefully during the course of this video, we're gonna get these guys all sealed up. So that's what I'm gonna be working on now. And there's a lot to it. So as with all things, when working on the plane, step one is always read the instructions. I've read over them a number of times, and the thing with the wing is you can't close the wing until you make sure you have all the wiring done. Antennas, landing lights, heated pitot tube, autopilot, whatever. There's going to be all this stuff that's out in the wing. And from my experience, or at least the other builders, it seems like most of it is in one wing or the other, not in both. So they run a shitload of wires out to the left wing, but the right wing is damn near empty. Maybe just the landing lights or the strobes way out at the end. Other than that, there's nothing else in there. That's kind of the route I'm taking. The first thing I had to do is, so I did get that Dynon heated pitot tube, which I had talked about before. Whether I go with an entire Dynon interior or not, I at least wanted the heated pitot tube that had the angle of attack indicator on it, because I'm going to get that AOA indicator in the cockpit no matter what, just because I think it's really cool and I like it. So to that end, I pulled out the metal tubing that Vans gave us as the pitot tube. I pulled all that out, and I used the blue and green tubing kit that Dynon sent along. But that means I had to drill a bunch of holes. I had to go through and make the cuts and whatnot to run it through the various ribs. Came out perfectly. I think it looks really great. I then ran a whole bunch of wires out to the wingtips, and then am going to look at sealing one or the other wing. I don't think I can just yet, and I'll talk about that here in a second. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I think I'm going to try to work on either moving on to the flaps or just finishing up what little bit of wings I can while I research the autopilot, because I'm sure there's some sort of servo or something that's going to go in that bell crank rib that I don't want to, I don't want to seal it yet, because it would just be way easier to do while the wing is open. But other than that, I'm getting close to being done with the actual wings. An update on my fuel tank. I am still working on sealing the second fuel tank. There is still that leak down in the end. I put a bunch of Pro Seal in there and I didn't get it, so I need to go in and try again and figure out where it's at. Something's up. So working on that still. Getting more information. I did buy my tickets for Oshkosh, so I'm going. So I'll see you guys there. We need to figure out a time when all of us can get together and hang out, or at least just, I'll be walking around. I'll probably be wearing my American flag shirt and my Army hat or something like that. You guys can walk up and just say hi. But anyways, that's what's going on. I'm gonna get back to it. Okay, so I've spent a good portion of the day going through and running all the necessary Sharkbite, like I talked about earlier, as well as the Pitot and angle of attack tubes that need to go through here. Now these are a soft tube. In the very beginning I pulled out the hard metal tube that Vans sends with and replaced it with the soft tube, which is what came with the Dynon Pitot tube kit. I'm not sure if one's better than the other, but I was just going with what the instructions said. I have to find a place to put this. So this is the heated Pitot control, and I could put this in the wing, but then you run into, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get it in and out. Where do I put it? I mean, there's going to be a bay right here, so I could put it here, but there's a bell crank right here, and I don't want it to be in the way of the bell crank. Moreover, this plane will have an autopilot, so I need to figure out where that's going to go. I need to contact somebody about that, because that may have to go here, or maybe in the other wing. I'm not sure how that works. If you know, please tell me. But this might be something I could have live out of the wing somewhere and then just run wires. To that end, I've got another small Sharkbite down here with some wires that I've run for exactly this. These are really small wires, so I know that this will work fine. Other than that, it's ready to close. I'm just hesitant to close it yet until I solve this problem. I got to get some information and figure out exactly what to do next. I've also added some labels everywhere on all the various things, simply because I know down the road I'm going to forget what, is the blue the angle of attack, or is the blue the Pitot? I don't know. Blue's angle of attack, green's Pitot. But I was, later on down the road when I'm trying to figure it out, I'm going to open up a hatchway to look inside and go, what the hell is that? So this is just me sending a message to myself in the future. 10 years from now, when I open this thing up to look inside of it, I will have a reminder. So just little things like that. But that's what I'm doing. I'm going to continue the same thing on the next wing, and maybe start working on closing it, because I think I can close the one, but I can't close the other until I get these answers, specifically where to put this and the autopilot. Well, no. So apparently everything I just said, or a lot of what I just said, was inaccurate. So my intent, as I had said, is I wanted to get one of my wings closed this week, and apparently after doing my initial research, probably not going to do that yet. So I reached out to Dynon. Specifically, I reached out to him about this guy. This is the heated Pitot controller. This one side plugs into the Pitot tube, the other side runs into the airplane. And I had thought, maybe if I need access to this, maybe it's a good idea to put this out of the wing, maybe over, in the fuselage somewhere, and just run these wires. And at 11 o'clock last night, I sent off an email about that and about autopilot, which I'll talk to in a second. And I got a response within like 5 minutes. Talk about good customer service. I just expected I'd send it Saturday and I'd get something back Monday or Tuesday. 5 minutes, and I got a response to my question. Awesome, good customer service, Dynon. That sort of thing really earns my business. Well done. So basically what he said is, in his plane, he just put this in the rib next to it, next to the Pitot tube. He says it's not a good idea to run more wire off of this. You want to run it this way, not this way. Okay, so I'll probably try to find a way to do this, and I may put it right there on that bell crank rib, but I need to make sure it's not going to bind with that bell crank rod that goes through there, so I might put some of that in there temporarily just to test to make sure. So that's how that's going to have to happen, apparently. I would like to try to find a way to have easy access to this in the event that it does eventually go out. I mean, equipment sometimes fails. So it would be nice to be able to get a way to get in there and replace this if necessary, but Yeah, so that's fun. I'm going to work on that. Might add some nut plates or something just so I can screw this in. So there's that. The next thing is in that same email, when I reached out to him, I asked him about autopilot. You know, I'm not 100% sure I'm going with Dynon yet, so I just assumed that the autopilot answer would probably be the same across all the various products. And I said, you know, do I need access to the inside of the wing to put the autopilot in there, or is that something I can put in after the wing is closed? His response was that no, it's a good idea to go ahead and have access to the wing, if for no other reason than to put the servo mount brackets and attachments in there while the wing is open. Just makes your life so much easier. You can put the servo in there after the fact. It's going to suck to try to hook it up, but you can do it. So I am at least going to leave my wings open until I solve that. So that's where I'm at on the wings. I may go ahead and continue working on the back here. So on the back of the wing, you got these long stiffeners. I'm going to go ahead and work on those, get those in place, and I may even dimple some of the skins and whatnot just to get it farther along so that I don't have to redo this work or do this work rather down the road. Just get it to a point where it's ready to close. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue working on the right wing, get it wired and up to snuff now. And the other thing is I noticed that specifically Dynon, and I don't know about Garmin, but the mounting bracket is on the right wing instead of the left. So I had said previously that everything's in the left wing and nothing's in the right. Nope, wrong. So I'm gonna go ahead and run some wires in there too, just to have them, because why not? So that's what I'm going to be doing. And then once I get all that happy and to a place where, you know, I basically wait until I get more information, I'm then going to go switch to flaps. So that's where I'm at, guys. That's what I'm doing. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down. Thank you all so very much. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, if you hit that like button over there, I'd really appreciate it. If you want to get notifications about every time I upload, if you hit subscribe and then the bell icon, you'll get notifications letting you know that I'm doing this. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, you can jump over to my Patreon page, and for as little as $1 a month, you can actually subscribe. Think of it as buying me a cup of coffee over the internet. I really appreciate it. I like coffee, and that'll tell me you like what I'm doing. And if you really want to build one of these planes, and I get people all the time saying they want to do it, but they don't know if they can, you absolutely can. If my dumbass can do it, you can. Trust me. I am nobody, so I know you can do it. If you use my builder number, which is down in the comments below, when you order your first kit, just as a reference, they'll send me $100 as a thank you. And I thank you. I really appreciate it. You absolutely can do it. And so there you go, guys. That's it. I will see you at Oshkosh. I will be there this year. I've already got my tickets. My father is ready to go. I've got the motor home all packed up. We're getting ready to go, and I am super excited. So thank you, everybody. See you next time. 323. This time with less suck. Not sure on the less suck thing.